day, my wonderful, wonderful viewers. Today I wanted to talk about something a little different to... There's a spider up there, okay. Today I want to talk about something a little different. I have made a number of AuthorTube videos over my time on this platform. I've never gone super in-depth with my projects. I thought it was about time to perhaps explore the kinds of projects that I'm working on, their statuses, the various different things, because I actually have a lot, and they vary a lot. And it's also inspired by Kit Kavanagh's recent video about backburner projects, because I have a lot of them. So yeah, without much further ado, let's get into the video. So this is the project that I am currently working on. This is in an old geography notebook. I did my geography exam yesterday. Ask me how it went. Is the answer. And I've started writing it in here. As you can see, I've got a few pages going. Personally, this project just kind of hit me in the face. The concept is there are two fairies from opposing courts, two Irish fairies from opposing courts, like traditional fairies. Let me make that absolutely clear. This is based on actual folklore. Anyway, two fairies from opposing courts who fall in love, and they have to kind of deal with that, while at the same time one of them has been cursed for tracking someone's soul, and the other one has sworn an oath to bring about peace, which is possibly not actually possible. So that is the story in this, and I'm really excited to get on with writing it, especially because I'm finally using this notebook for something fun. Yeah, and that is my current project that I'm working on. Now, in addition to that one current project, because I can't seem to multitask on projects, I only write one at a time, I have a number of backburner projects, which I will now be discussing with you. So set in the same universe as the one that I just mentioned, I have the Layman's Guides and Fish and Other White Meats. Fish and Other White Meats I came up with while I was on holiday in the Lake District, and we went to a little seaside town, and while I was there I looked at these like chewable paracetamol capsules, and I was like, you know what would be really cool? If I had a character who wasn't entirely human, perhaps a fairy of some sort, and she came and dropped off her child with a local, and then occasionally would come back and be like, how's the kid doing? Give a mildly child-related gift to assist with the child, and then just leave again. And that was this like unique idea, and I had like these, well, unique, but like this was new to me, and I had all of these different snippets of dialogue floating around in my head, and like all these different conversations that these characters would have. So I came up with the Exiled Queen of Anwen, who is currently called Silva, S-I-L-V-A, and her changeling, not changeling actually, like half-fae daughter, who has been left with the local priest whose name is Damien. Or not Damien, it was something, Damien? Daniel. I've got two characters, I've got Damien and Daniel, and I mix them up all the time. So let's segue on into Damien's thing. Damien is also set in the same universe. His story is he is killed and comes back as a ghost and is very confused as to what's going on. And this is set, of course, in the same world as I mentioned already. And this is part of a trilogy, which is the Layman's Guide series. And this covers three different aspects of this urban fantasy, the element of this world. So you've got your fairies, you've got your ghosts, and you've got your demigods. And Damien is a ghost. And he's the second one, the Layman's Guide to Ghost Science. The first one is Layman's Guide to Fairy Politics, which covers two changelings who find out that they are the heir to the throne in one of the courts, and they are not ready to deal with that. And then the third one is the Layman's Guide to Communing with the Old Gods, which is about a demigod who has a patron and she's not entirely sure what's going on. And yeah, I have started writing the first one, but I haven't actually gone on any further into that, so maybe when I start working on it again I'll be able to bring it up, but currently it is on the back burner. So, outside of that universe, we have a number of others. So this includes Better Days, Better Odds, which is obviously my lesbian vampire romance novel. You've heard about that already. I redid it a little bit. No longer is there Esme and Sophia. Instead, there is Esme and Margaret, the monster hunter werewolf. And yeah, I've switched up some of the characters and changed their positions around a little bit just because I felt like that would be more fun and that would provide a better story. So now you have Margaret, Esme, and Kitty as the main characters. And yeah, Sophia no longer exists in the story. I'm very sorry, but she'll have to be reused somewhere else. I don't know. I just felt like her character wasn't that strong. The next story I want to get into is one which I have nicknamed Gutter Dog. And that is about a human being who is involved, perhaps, in some less than legal stuff, who ends up ascending to the realms of heaven and becoming an angel, and having to deal with that transformation of being made from one thing into another thing, and not being entirely sure whether they're worthy of that position, and their morality, and all sorts of things. And yeah, and it is set in a dystopian world where there is, or at least it's set in dystopian London. I'm thinking about this as I'm speaking right now. I have started writing it, but I'm still not entirely sure on the setting. And I think this person has divided into two cities, essentially. You've got people who live in the London Underground, in the ghost stations and all sorts of things like that. And then you've got the people who live above, and above is the upper class, and below is the lower class. And the main characters from the lower class, and they are involved in sex work, because that's how they get by. And I really wanted to explore some more adult themes in that one, so that would be an adult dystopian. And yeah, that is what I've got for that one. Is currently began writing it and then stopped because I was like, I don't know what the plot is. But yeah, there will be a plot eventually. Yeah. I also have In the Aftermath, which is a story about a group of immortals who were kind of bad guys in the past, and they're kind of all living together in a house. And the main characters, there are a lot of them, but the main characters that we need to care about are Sean, who was a mercenary, Zen, who was a mercenary who also became the lover of a dictator, and there is Zimri, who is the other main character, and he was the lone survivor of a blood feud. And yeah, it's all very, they have to kind of figure out for themselves their own positions in life. They don't know why they're immortal, they don't know what's happened to them, they don't know like what's going on. Essentially all it is our world. I think it's magical realism. So it's adult magical realism set in our world. Literally the only thing that's different to our world is that there are immortal people. And, well, there might be immortal people in our world, who knows? But yeah, that is it for that story, and things begin to kind of shift up when Zen's lover shows up again, and he realizes that he is in for some shit. So yeah, that is another standalone set in its own world. Moving swiftly onwards to the next thing on my list. The Scepter of the Silver Sun is a back burner project right now. I am so sorry. I wrote 15,000 words? I think I'm on 16,000 words into it now. You all know about that, but a quick rundown is about a girl, demigod, gets sacrificed every year as a human sacrifice because she can't be killed. She has to go and kind of fix the gods' shit because they caused a bunch of problems. They no longer have a creation or destruction goddess, and she has to go and find the creation destruction goddesses, and she has to bring them back into corporeal form, or at least into collect their energy in such a way that they are able to actually perform the function that they're meant to. So yeah, that's what's going on with her. She discovers her destiny and fate, whatever, blah 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 blah, when her cousin shows up from, well, not her cousin anymore, I changed it, it's no longer her cousin, when someone who knows her cousin-in-law, I think, yeah, her cousin-in-law shows up and is like, hey, what's the deal with you and your magical artifacts? Can I steal some? And yeah, they meet and they end up going on a quest together, because that's what happens when someone tries to steal from you. You go questing with them. Yeah, it is a very idealistic fantasy. It is such an escapism story. I'm having so much fun with it, but I just hit kind of a wall in my writing, and I found that it was not really working trying to force myself to write anymore. So that is why I have put that one on the back burner for now. I have three back burner projects that are in the plotting phase. So I've put off plotting them to work on other projects. And these three are Theo and Dia, which is a story about it's magical realism, it's about two demigods who meet when their father is killed and he was a billionaire, whatever. Theo was raised by his father's secretary after his mother died, and Dia was kind of abandoned a little bit as a child by her mother, who was a sex worker, and she was adopted by a family in a different country. So they first meet when they find out, oh, this guy is their parent, and they are brought together by his will, which is like, hey, these kids need to know each other. And they meet and they end up bonding, and they find out that maybe things aren't as they seem. And at the moment I have my premise all 100% worked out and sorted. I just need to work out what the story is. I know it's probably going to be like a coming of age, like the story won't be that dramatic other than they discover things about themselves that they never thought could be possible. And yeah, the spider is moving now, so that is filling me with fear. Let's move on. So the next story is one that I'm very, very excited about, and I've been plotting for so long, and I feel like I'm eventually going to be ready to talk about it, and I talked about it in my sketchbook tour, which I will link either side, whichever side is up there. And that is Imperium, which is about alternate history where the Julian-Claudian dynasty survives until the modern day, and I am so excited about it. I have so many character ideas. I literally have aesthetic mood boards for every single character on my Pinterest because I'm just obsessed with these characters in this story. I'm really excited to get on and keep writing it, and like, we'll start writing it for a start, but yeah, it doesn't really have a plot, so that's why I just gave you the premise, but there you go. Sometimes stories just are a plot. It's fine. And my other back burner plotting project is When the Gold Moon Fell, which is set in the same universe as the Scepter of the Silver Sun. I like that celestial aesthetic, okay? And it is about one of the moon deities, because there are several moons, one of the moon deities, he falls from the sky one day and someone finds him and they're like, hey, weren't you in the sky 5 minutes ago? And he's like, shut up, please. And they end up kind of bonding with each other, even though like it's weird. They have this dynamic between deity and mortal and having to figure out exactly what's going on, whether they are able to kind of be like, whether they're able to meet each other in the middle, sort of. And yeah, it's a bit of a romance. We'll see how that goes. It is all just an idea right now, but it will be put into a story eventually. But yeah, that is it for my current projects, writing updates, all sorts of things. I thought I might keep you updated just because my wrap-ups will make a lot more sense if you have like some idea of the amount of things that I'm working on. And it also explains possibly why I don't seem to be making a lot of progress in any one area. It's because I'm working on like 12? 12? Let's give that a count. It's because I'm working on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 projects at once, and that is a lot of projects to be working on at once, and I hope you all can understand that it is not easy to write 9 novels at the same time. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I will see you all next time. If you like this kind of AuthorTube content a little bit more, please let me know. I am 100% willing to do more AuthorTube style videos if that's the kind of thing that you guys want. But yeah, that's it for today. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.